Welcome back, everybody. So, how resilient are you and how important do you think this is? This is what we're going to be talking about today. I'm Jasmine Navarro, certified wellbeing expert, and I work with families, helping them support their well-being in educational institutions and companies. And as you know, every week I interview amazing experts who make a difference in people's lives. And today I'm super super excited to be interviewing Nicky, who is an amazing coach and an amazing friend. Nicky, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do? And thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, no, thanks, Jasmine. It's lovely to be here. I know we've been talking about doing this for a while, haven't we? So as Jasmine said, I'm also a professional coach. I do a lot of work with professionals, business leaders, entrepreneurs, to support them through coaching on their journey, sort of some of the challenges that they face ahead, and deal with the resilience that is needed for the roles, particularly on those entrepreneurial sort of journeys that some of them are on. So that's a bit about my background into coaching. I haven't always been a coach. I spent a long time in finance, so I managed to escape from the spreadsheets into coaching.
And I just have to say, we did our training together, didn't we?
We did, and this is, we united in a room, didn't we, coaching together? And
Yes.
it's many years ago, and it's great. It's great to sort of share this journey and see how you're going with it as well.
No, definitely. So you chose this title, Resilience and Its Importance for Young People. Can you tell us a bit about that and what made you choose it and why?
Yeah, so we've often had conversations about this, and I've got two daughters, 11 and 13. I'm just about to hit the teenage years with them. So, and I constantly revert back to parenting is really challenging. Am I doing the right thing? And I think if one of the greatest gifts that I can hopefully send them off into the world amongst all the pressures and the social media and the academics that they're expected to deliver on is if they have resilience. And
Wow.
I think it's a really undervalued skill. I don't feel that it's sort of put at the forefront the importance of it. And I think in the way that sometimes we parent, and I'm guilty of this, we don't allow our children to show resilience. And I've seen it in the business world as well, the importance of resilience. But it's just been a sort of thought that I've been mulling over about how do we give the opportunity for our children to develop their resilience and its importance and as a lifelong skill. So that's
brilliant.
where it came from.
I think you're absolutely right. But how would you define resilience?
So resilience is your sort of ability to bounce back from adversity. So when I think about it, and I'm not talking when we're discussing it, sort of the big challenges in life that some children unfortunately face. I'm thinking about it when I'm doing the sort of the day-to-day challenges that our children face. So they didn't do very well on their exam. They got dropped from a sports team. They've forgotten something. They've fallen out with a friend. All of those sort of life's bumps that actually they need to know that it's okay in life to have some kind of failure. Life doesn't go smoothly, despite what we're sort of portrayed on social media. And actually, it's okay to sometimes not do that well. And how do you pick yourself up from that? Dust yourself off and move forward. So, for example, my daughter plays sport and she got moved down from a team. The world was going to end.
Oh, really?
She didn't want to do it anymore. Maybe I'm not good at this. And actually, we had a long chat about your mindset approach to actually, you need to come back from this. Where do you want to go? What do you want the long-term goal to be? And actually, she's worked hard. It took her, it wasn't overnight. She worked sort of the next 6 months on all her skills and actually moved back up a team. And I was just saying to you, Jasmine, before this, we were having a chat about resilience. And I think about what role we take as parents. We absolutely want to smooth the way for our children. We want to give them the best opportunities to succeed in life. And I wonder, through doing that, we're removing the ability for them to fail and work it out themselves. So we talked about this analogy. So there is this sport called curling. It's an Olympic sport.
Explain it.
I don't think anyone's heard of it that much. It's quite a niche sport, but what it is you imagine a big ice rink, and it's a bit like bowls on ice rink, and the team throw a rock across, and they have to get it as close as they can to a target that's on the ice. And in front of the rock go two of the team with these brushes that they are furiously in front of the rock, clearing the ice to make it as smooth a path as possible. And you know, it sounds strange, but it made me think, is that what we do as parents? Do we just smooth the path so much? We set our kids off and then we try and sort of fix everything for them, that actually when they then go out into the big wide world and they leave education and their first day of job work is a challenge, and we're not there to pick up the pieces. They don't get the promotion they went for, they don't get that job interview, or something happens. Have they got the skills to be able to come back from that? And that's sort of the question that I've been thinking about, how we do that.
And that's really, really important. And let me just say, so hi to Chanel. How are you doing? And hi to everybody else who's joining. Please let us know if you have any questions or comments. We'll do our best to answer them. When building resilience in young people, it must start with security and empathy as foundations.
And I love, I love that, because I think it's the security to fail as well in there. And that may be like, if I fail at this, it's okay. The world is not going to end. You know, I know children that their parents get really angry if they don't do well in an exam, you know, and we parents, obviously we want them to be the best and everything. But actually I've had a few conversations with my children where I've said, it's okay. You didn't go as where you wanted, but you know, this is going to happen in life. What are you going to do about it? And this is where we bring in our coaching skills as well, Jasmine. We can do that, asking them instead of telling them, you know, what is it that you've learned from this? How are you going to take this forward? What would you do differently next time? But that security to fail. And I always say to the girls, and I don't get everything right in parenting at all. I'm still very much on a learning curve. But you know, I suppose the disappointment comes when you haven't done your best. But actually, the outcome is not always going to go your way, and that's fine. You're going to have to sort of pick up on that.
It seems like there's everything you're saying, and I love everything you're saying. And the key message that I'm getting from you is, it's okay.
It's okay.
I really do like that. And about having that conversation, you know, open communication. It's okay. How can we move forward? Which is actually coaching, isn't it? It's all about coaching.
And heart breaks when they come home and they're all emotional. You know, they haven't done well on their maths, or they've got moved down a maths set, and your heart breaks. And the first thing you think as a parent is, I need to email the teacher and, you know, find out how come my child's this has happened. And, you know, it's actually trying to take a step back and go, you know, it's okay, as we've said. And how can I support them to work it out and to deal with it and move forward, and not jump in with the fix, which is what I really want to do. My instinct as a mama bear is to go in and try and fix it for them.
So being resilient, then, do you think, so of course what you're saying is how you respond to your child's upset or pain or failure or mistake, so how you respond to it. Is there another way to help our children become resilient as well? So that's responding to their mistakes. Do you think that's the key thing, is how we respond, or is there something else?
Yeah, and I think it's giving them encouragement to have a go at things.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah.
They're not necessarily the best at. You know, if I'm only going to dip the toe in the water when I know I'm successful at it, or I'm not going to try it at all because I'm not good at it, then actually how much are they missing out on? And then when you look at sport as well, you're and I particularly love sport and the discipline and the fun and the fitness and all of these things that it can give young people, particularly young girls. I think it's really important. I think that a lot of professional athletes have come to their sport later. It's not a case of, if my child hasn't found their thing by the time they're 8 or 9, they're not going to be any good at anything. It's just have a go at lots of different things. And through doing that, you're learning so much about communication, because you're meeting new people, about discipline, because you're showing up, about commitment, about resilience to go out in the rain. you know, and do things, even, you know, turning up to the training even when it's freezing.
So it sounds like you're saying it's all about well, it's not just about winning and well, it is about winning. I mean, it's not just the end result, it's about the process, learning, growing, enjoying, all of those things.
Yeah, it's about the journey to get there as well. And obviously winning's great and being successful is great, and, you know, having your eye on the final prize, but it's about the journey, the picking up, the showing up, the presence. So Judy Murray, who we have a British tennis player called Andy Murray, who's been very successful. He's won the Olympic gold and he's won Wimbledon and things.
I met him once.
You have met him, have you? Is he nice chap? Yeah.
Quick one.
His mum said something that's quite interesting. Judy Murray, she's very involved with tennis and coaching, but she said she could automatically tell the kids that were going to do well at tennis because they were the ones that carried in their own water bottle and their own rackets. The ones where the parents carried it in for them, she thought, well, they're not just going to have that discipline to do it for themselves.
Wow.
Really small thing, isn't it? About carrying your kids.
But the small things are the things. But, and how do you, so it's independence then? Is that
so, independence, you know, just not being there, kind of, just letting them grow, I think. I mean, when you think back to when we were kids, I think, well, I feel like we had a lot more freedom to just go out and do things.
Did you? Do you?
We control so many aspects of our kids' lives these days. And I also think the education systems, and we've lived out in the Middle East, we've been here as well, very similar, back in the UK, is they're really, really focused on academics. You know, how did you do in your grades? How do you, you know, what sets are you in?
Yes.
And I think it's just one part of the jigsaw.
Yeah.
Because if you come out of school, but you've got all nines or straight A's, whatever the grades are, but you can't pick yourself up when things don't go your way, have the courage to have a go at things and be able to communicate with people, all these other skills, then actually, you know, I feel this needs to be taught in school as well. And this is where I think sort of, you know, I've come to resilience being such a key sort of gift we can give our kids as they're sort of going out into the wider world when we're not there to pick up the pieces for them.
100%. And Chanel says, I totally agree. Confidence starts with courage. Courage builds resilience. If we can build a child's self-esteem, we can help them feel okay about failing so they don't associate competence with self-worth. Yes. Oh, me too. It's all about that, isn't it? And that's the thing. Like, I've worked with a lot of teenagers and they are associating their exam results to their self-worth.
Yeah. Absolutely. And actually, there's a big study done about resilience by a UK education body that said that two of the biggest things that to give kids resilience is their self-esteem and their self-worth, those two words there. So if we can get kids to feel good about themselves, regardless of what they're doing, then they're more likely to pick themselves up from failure and say, that's okay. I am upset. It's okay to be upset. That's a normal reaction. But actually, I'm going to put myself back out there to have another go. And I just think in adult life, when you think about your journey in adult life, it's not been smooth sailing for anybody. I think we paint the picture to our children that life is smooth sailing. If it isn't, then
when you're older, everything's going to be fine.
Yes.
You're going to know everything. When you get to that age, you'll know everything and it'll be fine. But yeah.
You never get there. Life is bumpy the whole way, and that's okay. And you're going to have days that go well and days you don't feel like getting out of bed and days that are going to be a bit of a struggle. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong because you're a human, but actually, you know, it's just sort of pushing through that sometimes. What
would you say? No, yeah, totally. So what would you say then to maybe parents who, you know, have teenagers or children and maybe they're struggling with this, you know, maybe they're really they get disheartened really quickly, they give up if they're not perfect or they're not getting the grades that they want. Like how can parents start doing this if they haven't been doing it?
I think communication is really key. And I think we put our expectations on our children, we put a lot of pressure on our children. You know, we've all been there. I've been at schools, you know, we kind of live vicariously through our children, you know, what exam results they get, what sports team they're in, what music band are they in. And actually, we've got to let them find their journey and come and talk to us about these things and not put our judgments out there, much like we do in coaching. Is it, I'm going to come from a place of non-judgment. Yeah, we might be disappointed or upset for them, but they take so much from our reaction, I think. And so we come back with it's okay, let's talk about that, rather than, I'm really disappointed in you, this is terrible, you're never going to, you know, I can't believe this has happened, you need to sit down, you need to be working harder at your maths because you failed here, rather than what have you learned from this? What do you need to do to take forward? And it's just like coaching with adults, is when they come up with the answer themselves, because if we have to sit and I think we come to a point where we have to sit and make kids do things, and we do need to have that routines and stuff. At the end of the day, it's got to be them that drives, drives where they go.
No, I completely agree. And like you said, it's not a good approach. Well, I agree with you actually, to say, you should work harder, you're doing really badly at maths or something. But why is that? Why shouldn't parents do that, use that approach? Because I know a lot of parents do.
It's interesting, I see a lot. I know children that say, I'm really scared to go home and tell my mum that I didn't get full marks in my spelling.
Yeah.
And as Chanel said in there, it's that security to go home and say to my mum, I'm really upset that I didn't do very well in my spelling, and start from that point, rather than feeling like they have to achieve because otherwise they'd disappoint their parents. And I think we want them to achieve because they might disappoint themselves.
Oh, I love
if
that.
they know they tried hard enough, then is that not all we can ask of them?
You're right, because that's a really good point, because I think when you just try to just do something to please your parents, you're training your brain that other people are more important than you as well, aren't you? And I think, and then you're trying to seek validation outside. And yeah, wow, you just made me realize that. That's really, really interesting, actually.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to, there's a lot of tiger parenting. We've talked about helicopter parenting, tiger parenting. It's like, we're going to drive our children. They are going to do music every week in, week out, regardless of whether they enjoy the piano. They are going to go and, they're going to be a doctor or a lawyer and these things, and they are going to do that. And is that not your dream rather than theirs? We want to have expectations, but actually, and then a big bit of coaching as well is listening, isn't it? And I think if we just bring those basics of that open door communication, where they can tell you anything, their fears, their worries, their concerns, and listen, and don't try and fix everything for them as well, but be there as a supportive security blanket. Absolutely, they need to know that we've got their back.
Yeah.
Then hopefully they're going to come out as well-rounded, well-grounded, resilient adults. And I think that's the greatest gift you can give your children, that they're well-rounded, confident young adults in society, rather than, I've got absolutely the most top academic marks, but I'm unraveling around the seams.
I absolutely love that. Well-rounded and grounded.
Yeah, well-rounded and grounded individuals, because my goodness, when you leave and you go out into the wide world, it's even harder.
You need these tools. You need to have access to your inner resources. But also, I love what you're saying about, if children end up being scared to talk to their parents, then there's a disconnect again, isn't there? There won't be open communication. You won't really know what's happening with your children, because they'll seek attention or validation elsewhere. So that's quite a dangerous situation to be in as well, isn't it? If you don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, they won't talk to you. So someone said to me once, quite early on when my children were little, is whatever they tell you, don't be shocked. Don't be shocked.
Oh, really?
Your face is like, I can't believe you did that. They've done something really silly, and it's just try and almost hold your emotions in so that they feel they can share. That doesn't mean that you can't say, I think that wasn't your best day and you didn't handle that particularly well, but actually that they feel that they can open up to you. to keep that dialogue, because if they feel they're going to get a really kind of angry response about something, they're just not going to tell you.
And I guess, and the more they open up and the more comfortable they are with their own emotions, thoughts, inner voice, I guess that helps build their resilience as well. Yeah, because it's all about building strength.
And I think as well, you know, we hear a lot of words like anxiety and things like that around, and it's, you know, it's a very serious thing, but actually it's also having that conversation that it's a normal human emotion to be nervous or to be worried about something or feel a bit apprehensive or have, you know, butterflies in your tummy before something, or you've got a busy day at school and you're not sure. That's normal. That doesn't mean that there's something more to it. We all, worrying on some level is part of being a human, along the other side of joy and happiness and you know, feeling sad and frustrated and all these things. And you know, and that it's kind of lean into that a little bit and put one foot in front of the other, show that bit of resilience to show up.
100%. And it's like, even the other day I was talking to somebody and I was just a bit worried about something, right? And I didn't really want to say anything, but anyway, it came up and they were like, no, do not be worried about this, it will make it worse or something. So I was almost scared to show that I was worried. And then I thought, it just took me back to, I don't know, being a child or something. And I thought, that's not right. That is terrible advice. But it took me, I was scared. Then I got scared of my own feeling. I thought, no, stop this. I know it's okay to feel worried. It's okay. I'm going to acknowledge it and accept it. But I was just like, there's this crazy thing going around that people think that if, you know, you can't worry, you can't feel anxious, you can't do that. It's a negative feeling. Stay away from it. I mean, we're not talking about dwelling, are we? We're just talking about acknowledging it. It's normal. It's human. Let's move on. But that was quite scary. Not scary, but alarming. The reaction.
It's the negative connotations. It's part of the journey of and actually, if you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, those moments of growth. You know, I've heard it talked about your comfort zone is like a circle around you and it's got a guard dog around the edge. And the minute you're going to step outside, your guard dog kind of goes off, you know, where you go.
Love it. Yeah.
And it's actually saying, I've got this. But it's at those moments when we're going to push ourselves out of our comfort zone that we get that kind of worry as well. And those fears and all of those things. And saying to our children that's okay.
It's
Obviously,
okay.
It's extreme. That's another whole thing. But it's okay to have those nerves and apprehensions, and that's part of the, you know, within when they're within like this, you know, we're going to go, the highs and lows of life are kind of quite normal, you know. Obviously we don't want to be in the big kind of area, but quite normal.
And that's what I want to say. We're not talking about, like, we're not therapists, and we're not talking about anxiety disorder,
genuine kind of
or, you know, that's really affecting you with your day-to-day activities. Then seek professional help. Absolutely. Therapy, psychologist. We're talking about the butterflies, like you said, feelings of anxiety, and it's okay. Do it anyway. Feel it and do it anyway, like they say.
Yeah, I used to run when I was younger. I was athletics. You wouldn't know now. I used to do the 800 meters, and before every start line.
That's why you look so young and amazing.
I can't run very far at all now, so long distant memory. But before every race, I would feel really nervous about how am I going to do? Will I do my best? How am I feeling? It was just a real uncertainty that I had to sit with, and it never went away. And I guess that's, you know, they even say that even people who are really successful athletes still have that. Obviously, they're going into their final of Wimbledon, or they're going to their first time at this event, or whatever it is. They want to do their best, and you know, they have that.
And that's why it's so crucial for your children to know that it's okay to feel like that. Don't run from that, because they could miss out on so many opportunities.
It doesn't mean there's something wrong.
It means you're doing something new. That's why you're feeling this, and it's okay. And get comfortable feeling that. That's it.
So you can see where academics is only one part of your child's upbringing, or that's the approach I take. It's all these other life skills that we need to give them. And I just wonder whether the modern education system doesn't quite factor those in. You know, it's great knowing your 1066, Battle of Hastings, or your simultaneous equations, but actually you need all the other bits as well in there. And I just wonder what part education can play in delivering that. I know sport is a big area you can do it, but I also know other, pastimes, or what, find out that thing that you enjoy and just do it. You know, is it the Dungeons and Dragons club, the book club at school, whatever it is, the art that you love doing, or whatever it is that
Yeah.
How do you think you were taught resilience when you were younger?
Sorry?
How do you feel you were taught resilience when you were younger?
I mean, I don't know, but I think also for me, like persistence and determination, do you think that that's connected to resilience?
I think they're wrapped up in a similar
they are, aren't they? I think I got that, but also that's what I was going to say as well. How your parents respond to their own adversity is really key as well, isn't it? Because we tend to copy, don't we, our parents? And my mom was quite persistent and determined. I think I got that from her, strong sort of character. So I think that's another way to teach your children resilience. Be resilient yourself.
Yeah.
And talk about it.
And show up every day.
Yeah.
So I think there's a few things you brought up. So how you demo resilience is key.
Yes.
How do you respond to your children when things haven't gone their way?
Yes.
You know, do we just try and step in and fix? Is that our first response?
Yeah.
And how do we have those conversations when things haven't gone, and you know, we try and respond in a way that actually gets them to take ownership of it and what they want to do next, and all through that creating that security that like I say, it's okay to fail, and it's not means you're going to be a failure, a lifelong failure. It's just this is this particular bump in the road, and you know, onwards you go, one foot in front of the other.
I love that. And also when you mentioned like insecurity, was it uncertain
within the circle of security?
Oh yeah. Like I was reading a book the other day, and you know, they were talking about how we've got to be comfortable with the uncertain things, because nothing is certain anyway. And the more you try to be certain about something, the more insecure it's going to make you feel, because you'll just find more questions, more doubt, more. So it's all about embracing this uncertainty of life.
Yeah.
And the more comfortable you can be with that, the more secure you'll actually feel.
Absolutely. And I think as parents, we need to sit with the uncertainty that we can't control every aspect of our children's lives as much as we want to. And it's our nature. You go, well, I just need to email the teacher. I need to do their homework for them and sit with them to do their homework, because I need them to do well. And I'm going to make them sit down and do their piano practice every day. And, you know, I'm going to schedule their weekends so they don't have any. And we just need to. These are human beings that we're bringing up that have their own minds, you know, especially as they get to teenagers. They'll soon tell you what they think.
Definitely. And actually, and when you said that, it made me realize as well, when parents are like that, you know, worrying, oh, let's just quickly get this done, get that done. Actually, they're focusing more on the end result. But really, there's never an end result, because it's all a process anyway. So it will never. So
it's having the process and building up those skills as you go. Definitely. But I don't, you know, I have to remind myself, I haven't got it nailed. I'm learning all the time.
No one has.
Yeah. And actually in my own life, you think, gosh, do I bring enough resilience for those things that, you know, I haven't got that job interview, or that client, or something didn't go well, or that presentation that I didn't deliver very well, or whatever it was. How do I respond to that kind of frustration or upset, and bounce back from it? And you know,
it's a learning journey, never
ending. It's a constant. We don't ever get it right.
No,
it's good to sit and stew in it. But I think resilience is so important for our children, because it was an interesting fact that 2/3 of our children will do jobs that don't even exist at the moment. Because they have been created. There's a fact I read. So they are going to be going into an ever-changing, completely moving world. So they need to kind of bring that kind of agility and courage and resilience along with them. So
amazing. We're just running out of time, but Nicky, you have been fabulous as usual. Thank you so much for sharing your insights. You've made me have some realizations. I can't remember what one it was. Do you remember? I need to.
Well-rounded, maybe. I don't know.
No, not that. Something else we said. But yeah, I'll watch it again. But no, thank you so much. And that's the thing that I love about coaching conversations. You always learn something. But is there anything else you want to say before we go?
No, just thanks for having me on. It's been great to have a chat. Like I say, these are learnings I'm finding. So if anyone ever has any top tips, please share. It's always good to share on these things.
And if you want to contact Nicky, feel free to message her or myself or in the comments. And I'm actually hosting a workshop next Friday at the Warrior Academy for self-confidence for 12 to 16-year-olds. So I'm going to post the link there. What's your superpower? Do you know what your superpower is? Nicky, do you know what your superpower is?
No, I think I'm going to have to think of that one. 80s dance, 80s music. Does that count? If I was over in the Middle East still, Jasmine, I'd send my two along to your workshop.
Amazing. But no, thank you so much, everybody, for coming. And thank you so much, Nicky. And I will see you next week.
Yeah, see you. Bye.